Hey folks, this is Bob Moody with Real Expectations and Tips for Kids. Today we're at the Middletown High School Fishing Flea Market. Come on inside, let's check it out. Come on in. Hey folks, we're inside the flea market and I'm with Trevor Knight, and he's one of our good friends, and we want to include him in here. Today's tip, we're talking about the kids combos for the younger child. These combos create a lot of excitement and they're fun and easy to use and introduces young people to fishing. But there's one problem with this combo, and what do you think it is, Trev?
You know, the real problem with this is the tip of the rod. Absolutely
right. The thing is, these kids play with these rods, and for some reason they'll be striking the ground with the tip, and before you know it, the tip comes off. Once the tip comes off, it becomes a very sharp object that is eye height to the young children that are in the 3- and 4-year-old range. So, and the other thing is once you lose the tip, you're done fishing. So what do you think would be a great idea to do with this?
Well, you know, the best thing to do is when you buy this is to put a little bit of epoxy or glue on there, or even some electrician's tape, just something to secure that tip so that it doesn't fall off while they're out there fishing.
So that's our tip for today, and thanks, and we'll see you next time for Tips for Kids.
See you.
That's one of the biggest peeves, is you got rods everywhere. You want to bring versatile rods and you don't want them hindering you. With the storage capabilities here in your rod staging areas, it really makes it simple to carry the rods you really want to carry with you and not be worried about losing them, or oh man, this is going to get messed up on here. And being able to put your tips in here and bungee them down on either side really secures them and keeps them out of your way. I mean, you're right here the whole time, and literally the staging areas are right on either side. Same with the fly when it comes a little bit further back, or even like a longer surf rod, you know, something like that. To keep it in there for easy access to pop it right off when you want to switch in between your rods. One of my favorite aspects is the removable, replaceable skeg plate on the back there. A lot of these kayaks, if you're alone by yourself, you're going to be dragging it. You're not going to be carrying something this big by yourself. And that's a huge plus. The kayaks I've had in the past, I've had to weld them and steel mesh just simply from dragging them. So that alleviates that whole issue of, man, I'm gonna tear my kayak up dragging this thing around the whole time. That takes that whole thing out of the issue. Another one of my favorite features is these seats that it comes with, and the ability to just loosen this strap and pop it right up into the top position. And if you know you're going to be doing a lot of standing up in it, you want it right in the top position, so you're already higher off the boat. And literally all you got to do is grab this stand-up assist, and you're right up. And it really helps out getting back down. You don't have to just kind of, whoa, you know, fall and drop down. And your feet are nice and secure here. You can really just stand on it and drop right back into your seat. So that's nice. And if you're not planning on standing up, you might prefer it down here in the lower position, unless, like shown in the video, you want to keep a lot of your tackle boxes, which I unfortunately didn't bring too many of, but if you want to keep a lot of those right underneath you for easy access, you know, say you're doing a lot of striper fishing or something, you got a ton of plugs and stuff in there, you can literally keep all those right there under it. Or if you're going to be down here, there's room to fit Plano 3700s right on either side of it.
Alright guys, my name is Trevor Knight. I fish the FLW Tour and the FLW Everspark series, and also just started up a company, Knight Custom Tackle, where I sell a lot of soft plastic jigs and stuff like that. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about springtime jerkbait fishing, and then how to make your own soft plastic lures. With jerkbaits, that's probably one of the most popular baits in the wintertime throughout the early spring. When you're dealing with water temperatures from about 43 to 58 degrees, that's when your standard suspending jerkbait is what everybody likes to throw. That and the jig, those are your two biggest baits during the early spring and the late winter time. With the suspending jerkbait, it's important to know that you can't just take it out of the package and throw it out there and think it's going to suspend. Depending on whatever the water temperature is, it's going to change how that bait suspends in the water, because the colder the water is, the more likely the bait is going to float. The warmer the water is, the more likely the bait is going to sink. So you have to find that balance when you have a jerk bait. Do you want it to sink a little bit, do you want it to float a little bit, or do you want it to suspend perfectly? In order to change that action with your jerk bait, you have to do several things. You can either add little lead strips to the belly of your jerk bait, and that'll help that bait suspend a little bit better if it's starting to float up. You can also take the hooks, swap out the hook for a little bit larger size, like go from a number 4 to a number 6 to a number 4 size hook. By adding a little bit bigger hook, that'll help add weight to the bait and allow it to suspend a little bit better. If you want, you can also drill a hole in the bait and add more BBs to the bait if you wanted to do that, but you really don't have to do that nowadays with the little lead strips that you can just kind of put on the bottom of it. If you want your bait to float a little bit more, there's really not much you can do except take the hooks and swap for smaller hooks. That'll lighten the bait up a little bit and allow you to make that bait float a little bit more. The key when you're fishing the jerk bait in the early springtime, when these fish are still kind of lethargic, is all in the cadence. And what I mean is how many jerks you give it, how much time you let it pause in the water. As a rule of thumb, the colder the water is, the more you want to let that jerk bait just pause there. You're trying to imitate either a dying shad or a dying perch, and those bass don't want to spend a lot of energy going after a bait when it's cold. So you want to give it maybe like a twitch, and then let that bait sit there for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute.
Come back, but anyway, I used to throw right off of that point, and it's real deep, is it not?
Yes.
Let that sucker go all the way down, It's all about patience fishing with the trout. You sit there and you pull that thing right up that embankment there off of that point, and them trout, when they hit it, brother, they will take that rod right out of your hand. And I mean, I caught some smoke right back there. I hope they come back. There's good flounder that run this point.
Like that on the outfield.
Well, and coming out going, I fish them all. You know, I just love fishing. You know, so I fish all the time. But the reason why this is such a good area, you got deep, you got the shallow, you got structure, you got the wall, you got bait fish coming in here, bait hugging the wall, hugging into here. That's the reason why the fish.
I think it might be a little bit earlier this year. I'll know, because I'm going back out there in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
I'll know. If they're out there, they'll fish off net. Read it.
Are flounder primarily a sight feeder or a scent feeder?
They are a sight feeder. They're predator fish.
Predator fish.
And I've just put a circle hook on the back that helps protect a lot of things. One of them is if you get in blues every once in a while and you got a bunch of treble hooks in a blue, you're down for a little while on a boat before you get all that stuff out of there, okay? But just a single hook, you can pick them up. You're just going to release them, just, you know, pull that thing out and let it go. If you catch a small striper and you want to release that, or the bigger ones, a striper over, I want to say 36, 37 inches, I automatically release because that's guaranteed a female. I'm into conserving fish. I do the same thing with flounder. I won't keep a flounder over 5 pounds because that's guaranteed that's going to be a female. Male flounders don't grow that big. So that's why I circle hook on everything. It's very simple, but yeah, trolling. These little tunies they started coming out with, these guys dive down to 55 feet. So we were out 3 weeks ago, fin whales were in 3/4 miles off the beach, right dead in front of the lighthouse there in Fenway. We were trolling around. That was the day we limited out in an hour's time, trying to come back in. Today, water temperature still off the beach. It's still 44 degrees. They still catching them. I know Wednesday there was a couple guys that were fishing just north of me, and close towards where the old Coast Guard station was. Big sandbar out there. You ever troll around that and caught some nice ones?
When you troll, do you use braid line when you troll?
No, I tried braid line at one time. I do not. I use monoline only now. And I don't have your 20-pound test, but I use a 40-pound test leader. Only because, you know, you get the blues and stuff on there. You want to
Use the fluorocarbon leader?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know of any other kind really that works properly. Yeah. If you guys want, you know, the paper down there stuff, they come out once a week or once a month. You know, if you want to find that up-to-minute stuff, yellowfish.net, because people are posting on there all the time. I mean, every time I go fishing, I hit it now. So
Actually, we're doing a saltwater fishing this year. We're doing saltwater.
we're going to do a couple of them. I'm going to take you out there about 20 miles, and if you don't do right, I'm going to dump you over. Say, swim!